A couple of weeks ago, I bought this iPad mini and I thought I would try and paint a small landscape painting and see how it went. So, like I said, I bought this a couple of weeks ago. I haven't really tried to paint on it. I've been using it as just things to mess around with, a place to put reference photos on and things. Most of the time, well, pretty much all the time, I'm painting on an iPad Pro 13 and is significantly bigger, of course. And other than that, I'm actually painting on a 22-inch Wacom tablet. So I prefer to have them pretty big so you can have more screen and it's just easier, obviously. I did have a bigger tablet again, and I actually got rid of that. So it's not always like get the massive tablets. That one was too big. So this iPad is pretty cool. This one cost me about £500 in UK money, and for a guide, the iPad Pro cost me 2,000 because it's the nano textured one. I didn't particularly want all the extra space and everything, but I wanted the screen. So the screen's pretty good on this mini, though. I've put a protector on it. Not very well. It's got a couple of bubbles, which annoys me, but I'm not sure you need the protector. I tried scribbling on the gloss screen, and that was pretty good too. So I wouldn't spend hours painting on this mini, so I'm not sure I needed to bother with the protector, the matte protector. I don't know which one it is. I think ESR or something like that. It's not the paper legs. I don't like the paper legs ones too much, and they wear your nibs down as well, which is a bit annoying. So if you did want to get one of these, try without the protector for a while and see if you get on with it. And it does dull the screen quite a lot. Compared to the iPad Pro, the screen is nowhere near as bright. So that's something to consider. I mean, obviously it's a lot cheaper, so yeah, that's why the screen is not going to be as good. So it's quite tricky to paint on, I gotta say. Obviously not impossible. You'll see now and again it moves on my big mouse mat thing underneath because it's a bit slippery. I have a silicone case on it at the moment. I do have a leather case somewhere, and so I suspect if I put that on, it wouldn't slip. But the problem with those is they're quite chunky, and I want to paint on a flat surface-ish. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe no case is probably better, but then the metal's kind of slippy too. So you'll see I have to hold it, which is not a huge deal, but I'm not really used to that. I use holders for the iPad Pro though, so it comes in a big wooden thing or plastic thing anyway. So that's a little bit annoying. You'll see that I keep on holding or moving it, and it's quite hard to get comfy with this little thing. Not totally enjoyable, but keep in mind this is my first go, and I only painted this for about 30 minutes, and I think for that kind of session, that's probably all I'd want to do on a device this size. Little sketches and things. Why I got it was to use it for reference, so I can put photos on it while I'm painting on my iPad Pro. I do have obviously a PC and a screen next to me, but it's quite nice to have something like really close. You can just glance at it. You don't have to look too far away. For that, it's working perfectly. Probably a little bit too expensive for that, but I also thought, well, maybe I'll take it out and sketch sometimes, or take it into the living room or whatever, where the iPad 13 is a bit too big to do that, and it's a bit chunky, so I tend to leave my iPad generally inside its big holder thing. So taking it out and put the case back on every time it gets a bit annoying. So I leave this one just hanging around my desk, which I can pick up and shove notes on and stuff. So I'm still getting used to it, and it's a solid device, there's no doubt about that. And this is 4,000 by 4,000 pixels, and I get 61 layers out of that. I don't use that many layers, so 61 for me is more than enough. I think I only ever use like 20 or something like that. But if you are somebody who likes a lot of layers and you want to go high resolution, keep in mind that you don't. Well, I think 61 is quite a lot, but I know some people who kind of use like 100 layers. How they find anything, I have no idea. But so if you want to go layer heavy, then this is probably not a good idea for you. And it's weirdly expensive, this mini, actually, because the iPad Airs and the regular iPads are, I think, cheaper now. Don't quote me on that. And they're bigger. So I'm not entirely sure why this mini one is so expensive. It has got the latest chip in it. Obviously nothing like the Pro, but it does have AI chip in it and stuff, which is absolutely useless at the moment. It doesn't really do anything. So maybe that will come into play at some point, because Apple is still working out what they're going to do with AI anyway. But it's nice to have the latest stuff just in case they have some features that they don't work. I'm using my iPad Pro Pencil, which is the latest version. The version before this doesn't work, and so I think you have to use the Pro, or you can use the really old crappy one, which I wouldn't recommend anyway. So you have to get the Pro, which is a great pencil, by the way, anyway. So I would say get that, because you get the squeeze thing, which I forget to use sometimes. But if you remember to use it, it's handy in Procreate to put the shortcut pop-up thing on there. It's quite hard to tap all the time, so I wouldn't put anything that I click a lot. But the shortcut thing is quite cool. So you can customize that to put whatever shortcuts you want. And I put things like flip the screen horizontal and stuff, so I can check how the painting's going and things like that. So that's quite handy. But as a drawing experience, the screen's pretty nice. Like I said, I got the protector on it. Not sure you need it. Perfectly good to draw on. Absolutely perfect to draw on. The one thing I don't like that much is, because the screen is small, you have nowhere to put your palm on the, I'm right-handed. So I'm trying to lean my hand onto the, the screen and paint, but you'll see that most of the time my hand is off the side. Now, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it kind of is, because you can't know where to rest your hand as you're painting, so you're kind of floating all the time, which is, if you're going to do that for a long time, that could be quite painful. But I wouldn't recommend painting on this for a long time, really. It is really for sketching and things. So if you're using a bigger tablet, you'll generally rest your hand on the side and paint towards the left, depending on if you're left-handed, right-handed. So you don't use a big chunk of the screen. But because the screen is so small, you can't really afford to rest it anywhere. I suspect you can, but then you'd have even less space to paint on, so you're floating. It's not the end of the world, and I'm pretty sure I could get used to this. If this is the only thing I had to paint on, I would certainly paint on it, and I have no problems. You could zoom in quite far, so this 4,000 pixels is quite big, so it handles it very well. Sometimes the responsiveness of the touch didn't quite kick in quite as good as the Pro. It's still excellent, but not quite as good as the Pro. I mean, obviously, if you don't have a budget for the Pro and you're looking at something like a mini or a regular iPad anyway, then it's kind of irrelevant if you can't afford the Pro. But if you're saving up and you got any chance of buying the Pro, it's an easy choice to get the Pro. I mean, you can't talk about space. It's 8 inches or 13. It doesn't make a huge difference, does it? You might as well just get the bigger one. But I would probably check out an iPad Air or the regular iPad, or the Pro, like 11s or something, if money is an issue. Because the Pros are definitely the best by miles. I mean, it's not really close in that respect. But if you like the idea of the small one and all you want to really do is sketching, then this is pretty cool. I do like the size. The size is kind of good, because you can just throw it about and things, and you can hold it in one hand. Earlier you saw me pick it up and draw. That's quite nice, actually. Like I said earlier, I do have a case, and the case has kind of like a strap thing on the back, so you can put your hand through it and hold it. So that might be quite cool. So I think holding it might be better. Obviously, I couldn't really hold it here because I'm trying to record it at the same time. So I don't think I'd probably paint like this if I wasn't recording it. I might hold it or find a better holding device. Right, so there's for the iPad Pros, you got lots of these like slate type devices where it goes into it, and then you got a big drawing space. Now it'd be good if you could get one of those for the Mini. It probably doesn't need to be as big, but like A4 size or something. Just so when you put the iPad in, when you put the Mini in, it recesses, so then you got somewhere to rest your hand. Now that would be good. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have some of those, because I'm reasonably sure the iPad Mini older one is exactly the same dimensions. I could be wrong. But the cases seem to work in both, so they should be. So that means there's probably stuff around from when they released the last one. So have a look at that if you're interested. But obviously, have a look at the older iPad Mini too, because they should be a lot cheaper now. I did have a quick look, and even for new, they're exactly the same price as the new ones. I don't know how they worked that out. Who on earth is going to buy the old one? I have no idea. But so anyway, it was worth it for me because I like playing around with these things, and I'm always messing around with iPads anyway. And as a second device is great. As a primary device, I'm not sure about that. It kind of depends. Try it out. Make sure you can return it if you don't like it. As a primary device, I'm not sure, but as a secondary device, it's pretty awesome. If you've already got an iPad and you want to mess around with it and use it just to read or whatever, it is pretty nice. I don't regret getting it. I probably won't draw on it that much. I might try sketching a little bit. It's quite nice to use to put notes on though, because it's quite a good size for that. Vertically, you can hold it quite easily and scribble notes and stuff. So it's quite cool. So anyway, that's a quick overview of the Mini. If you got any questions about it, leave it down in the comments and I'll answer anything you want to know. And the landscape turned out okay, but I wasn't too focused on how it turned out. I just wanted to try it, Procreate on the thing and see how I went. All right, if you liked it, give me a like and sub, and I'll see you in the next one.